How's it going, everyone? So I'm going to start this Q&A, but first, coffee. All right, so I'm going to start this Q&A with a fun question. If you could travel anywhere, where would it be and why? If I could travel anywhere, honestly, I have a huge bucket list of all the places I want to travel. I want to travel like Europe, South America, Africa, Japan, China, like all the Caribbean islands, like everywhere. I want to travel so many places. If I had to pick one place right now, I'd probably say Europe. I think Europe is super cool because it actually has like a ton of history. I'm living in the United States of Maryland, as many of you know. And the United States has history, but it's only history over about 300 to 400 years. Europe has a ton of history, just thousands and thousands of years of history on all kinds of stuff. There's so many countries over there. You've got France, Germany, Portugal, Spain, just so many countries that just have loads and loads and loads of history, and I think that'd be so cool to just see like the ancient buildings in Rome and Italy and just so many cool things. I think that would be the place where I would go. Next question. What is one of the best things to eat post-workout? Post-workout, it kind of depends on what your goals are. If you're trying to like lose weight, I think obviously like if you're trying to lose weight, like keeping the carbohydrates low is important, and obviously if you're trying to gain weight, like basically splurging on a bunch of carbs and protein is the best thing to do. But regardless of kind of what your goals are, in terms of post-workout, I think your best thing to do post-workout is have some kind of complex carbohydrates. So basically, when we're done working out, our glycogen levels are depleted. Glycogen is something that is stored in the muscles to help with energy and ATP and all that kind of stuff. When we're done working out, our muscles are completely depleted, they're exhausted, and they need some kind of refueling, essentially. And you have about an hour anabolic window after post-workout. Anabolic window is basically the window which your body is taking in the most nutrients and energy and food storage, stuff like that, to essentially start the rebuilding process. So post-workout, the best thing you can do is eat some kind of form of complex carbohydrates. Potatoes, rice, oats, and anything that's like a heavy kind of carb, that's the best thing to do. And like I said, it kind of depends on your goals. If your goal is to gain weight, eat a ton of carbs, like eat a lot. If you're trying to lose weight, just a little bit of carbohydrates post-workout is the best thing to do. Obviously, if you're losing weight, your carbs aren't going to be very high, but you definitely still want those post-workout carbs so you can push all the toxins out of your muscles and restore those glycogen levels to rebuild energy. Next question, what are some things to do to improve your energy levels? You could take this at a bunch of different standpoints. I think there's a couple things that you need to do. Number one, I think if you're healthy and your nutrition is in check and with the foods you're eating in check, like you're eating healthy foods, that in itself is going to help you with energy. A lot of people aren't eating healthy. They're eating food that is not, is not nutrient based with like minerals and vitamins, stuff like that. Like they're lacking vitamins and minerals within their diet. And if you're eating healthy, that in itself should help with your energy levels throughout the day. You'd be surprised on how much eating healthy can affect your energy levels in life. So that's kind of one thing to keep an eye on is what are the foods you're eating. If you're eating unhealthy foods that are processed, stuff like that, you're not getting the correct nutrients in order to fuel your body and give yourself energy. Another thing you can do is to rebuild energy. Obviously, you could do stuff like coffee and stimulants and like energy drinks, stuff like that. That stuff's okay, but it's momentarily and they usually end up crashing you. You can always go with, but first, coffee. But what I would do to restore my energy levels is basically completely change my mindset. Like I said, I preach a lot about psychology. Psychology is super important, and everything in life is psychological. If you can completely change your mindset, and figure out what your goals are, what your goal is for the day, and whatever you're working on. Like if you're working on some school work, if you're working on a business thing, or work or anything like that, changing your mindset with how you approach it to everything. I think, it's tough. There's been so many times where I've been like super tired and I just want to go to bed and like I don't want to do things, but I think it's really just digging deep down and having that grittiness. This book that I'm reading, Grit, by Angelina Duckworth, she talks about this thing called grit. It's basically having the ability to persevere through like tough obstacles and stuff like that. And I think you have to have some kind of that within you in order to, get through things. So in terms of building back your energy, you got to have that mindset of just like, you know what, I have to do this thing and I'm just going to go out and get it. Like it's essential, I think you need to completely change your psychological view, in order to build energy up. I think you just have to, get in a happy mindset, listen to some good music, some happy music, do something that kind of basically releases some good endorphins. Like a lot of people like to play music, or, a lot of people like to play instruments, or go running, or work out, or read a book. Anything that's gonna basically put some kind of positivity within your mindset, that's gonna be the best thing to build your energy up. All right, so this is the last question. This is kind of the question of the day. It's a little in depth, it's a little personal, it's gonna get a little deep for a little bit, not sure where exactly where it's gonna go, but basically someone direct messaged me on Instagram. Don't really know her that well. I mean, they follow me, I follow her. You know how it is on Instagram, how you follow people, because you like their page, stuff like that. And she asked me if I answer any kind of relationship questions and stuff like that. And I don't know, if you know me personally, like really personally, you know that I'm pretty good with giving relationship advice. I've been through so many relationships. I've been, in lack of better terms, fucked over a few times. And I love talking about relationships. I think it's one of my specialties in terms of advice. But essentially, she asked me questions, and basically, she just got a relationship that was kind of emotionally abusive, and just all around not a good relationship. I mean, there was a good guy, but just the relationship was abusive in nature. Emotionally, there's some like cursing and name calling involved, and all this other stuff. And basically, her question is that after going through this long relationship and giving my everything to this person, how do I go through regaining my self-esteem, regaining my identity, and basically just regaining themselves as a whole? I feel like when we're in relationships, we tend to give so much to the significant other that we forget to worry about ourselves, or give to ourselves. And that's good and bad. Obviously, when you're in a relationship with someone, you want to be able to give them something. You want to be able to focus on them, and that's how relationships should work. It should be a constant give and take, give and take, give and take. But a lot of times when people are in deep relationships, they give, and forget to think about themselves. And if the relationship doesn't work out, it kind of leaves them in a rough spot where it's like, oh, well, my whole life has been revolved around this person. I've planned everything around this person, my future, and everything. And it sucks. And I've been there. I've been through long relationships where I've planned where I want to be, and what I want to do around their schedule, around their timing and stuff like that. And that's not necessarily bad, but it's definitely not good at the same time. So how do you go about regaining your identity, building your self-esteem? I think the first step is letting go of the past. You can't do anything about the past. The past is what it is. There's nothing you can do about it. It's in the past for a reason. You got to focus on the now and the future. And I think forgetting about the past and letting go of any kind of fears or mistakes that you had is the very first thing. Don't look back on it. Look at it just a little bit, understand some certain things, where you went wrong and stuff like that, and try to make yourself better out of it. But the first essential step is just letting go of the past and basically turning your view on the future and the present. The second thing is be selfish. I think when you first get out of a relationship, it's so important to be selfish. And what I mean by that is I don't mean, being an asshole and not doing anything for other people and just, going around the world with your head held high, snobby and stuff like that. I don't mean that. I mean basically taking all your time for yourself and doing whatever you need to do to recover. When you're getting out of a relationship, it's tough, and your emotions are everywhere and your mind's everywhere and you don't know what's going on. It's crazy. I think you need to take the time to be selfish. Go out and do the things that you want to do. Go hang out with people you want to hang out with. That thing you've been pushing off because you haven't had time or you couldn't because of your significant other, go out and do that. I think it's a perfect time to be selfish. Try new things. Get uncomfortable in life. Rediscover who you are. And that's basically what you have to do in order to recover your identity is discover, once again, who you are. Look deep down inside you and figure out what you want in life. Write a list of your goals, your bucket list, what you want to accomplish within the next week, month, years, and really develop a plan as to what you want in life. And I think once you start doing that, you're going to figure out what your core values are. Everybody is driven through their core values. Some of them are nature, some of them are nurture, you know. And I think being selfish is a huge step within that. Next thing I would say in terms of like self-esteem and stuff like that, I think it's important to recognize that you are who you are and you're beautiful because of that. And only you can determine who you are and stuff like that. No one else can really label you. I think a lot of times people get caught up in the ideas of other people and how other people view them, and they make it a reality within their lives because they're constantly hearing it and they're thinking, oh, well, maybe I am this thing. You determine your identity. You determine who you are as a person. I think it's important to separate, you know, the ideas of other people and the ideas of who you truly are, and be able to sit down and be like, all right, like the past like couple of months, couple of years, you know, people have been like thinking this about me and stuff like that, but this is really who I am. Yeah, I think just letting go of the past, being selfish, and ultimately just realizing that who you are is who you are, and that being the best version of yourself is your ultimate goal, and you need to be able to reach that. Yeah, I mean, like I've been through plenty of tough relationships where I've given so much to someone, and I don't regret any of it. You know, you do these things out of love, out of careness, and that's how a relationship should be. You should be able to give without the idea of giving or getting something back out of it, and just basically going head first into a relationship and being completely fine with that, and that's how relationships should work. But like I said, there's times where we lose who we are and we forget, you know, what we want, and we focus so much on that person that we don't take the time to consider ourselves and, all right, well, what's good for me? Like, and I think once we get out of a relationship, it's a scary place. You know, we're sitting here like, oh, like I've surrounded my whole life around this person. Like, what do I do now? And I think it's just rediscovering who you are. And I think it's you have to look at it as a positive view. You can't think of it like, oh, I'm no longer with this person. Like, life sucks, you know. Skies are dark, you know, just all this other stuff. I think you need to look at it as a positive viewpoint, you know, figure out what you can learn from this relationship, what things you like, things you didn't like, things you can tolerate, things you can't tolerate. I think that it's important to take a step back and figure out, all right, these are the things that didn't work out, and I know that there are some things that I did wrong within the relationship that I need to work on in the next relationship that I'm in, and I think it's just a perfect time to kind of take a step back and just analyze where your life is going, you know, and don't do it out of fear, you know. I think a lot of times people, when they get out of a relationship, they want to blame, and there are many times where, you know, that person is at fault for a lot of things, but there's always something that you could have done differently or could have done better in order to change the dynamics of the relationship. And everything happens for a reason. You have to remember that. Everything happens for a reason. You may not know it tomorrow or a week from now, a month from now, or years from now, but everything happens for a reason. And I think if you understand that and trust and that things will work itself out and you'll realize why this happened, I think that's super important. But the first step is just, you know, looking at it through a positive lens, you know, that it's for the better, that it's going to change you, and that in the end of it all, you're going to come out a better person. So that's going to conclude today's But First Coffee. I hope you enjoyed it. Listen, guys, if you have more questions, comment down below, direct message me on Instagram, whatever you need to do to get your questions answered. I'm here for you. I want to help you guys. I want to provide tons and tons of value. I mean, this isn't for me, this is for you guys. Any questions, as you can see, like, I don't mind answering the relationship questions. I love answering those questions. I'm here to help you guys. And obviously, I don't know everything, and not all my questions are going to be perfect, and people are going to disagree and stuff like that. And, like, that's going to happen. But these are basically just my opinions, you know, the things that I've gone through to help you guys. And I hope you guys see some kind of value in this. If you like this video, please hit like at the bottom, and please subscribe to see more videos. Take care.